Two marker. What's going on, Alamo City Movie Talk fans? As always, I am your host, Ryan D, aka Ryan680.
And this is Lex, back at it again with another review.
Let's get right to it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the most anticipated, I would think, for myself. And I can't believe Black Panther was already here because we saw the first trailer a few months ago, and I was excited for this. I was so excited for this. I was anxious. I was just like, wow, that trailer was just a damn amazing trailer. Now let's get right to it, ladies and gentlemen. This is our review of Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Black Panther 2. You know, this describes as the people of Wakanda fight to protect their home from the Atlanteans, but not really the Atlanteans, world powers as they mourn the death of King T'Challa. Now, obviously, we know the situation that did occur. It was during the pandemic. Chadwick Boseman did pass away and everything, and so it was definitely a struggle. You know, where this film really came from, where besides the professional aspect of it, just how great of a human being Chadwick Boseman was. I mean, he played the most iconic African American role players ever in the history. As 42 Jackie Robinson. I mean, he was phenomenal in 42. Freaking amazing cinema there, and I loved him. Get On Up as well, just beautifully done. And so knowing where this film actually started out to be, Tita Wright, I mean, what they had to really, I mean, it wasn't on purpose, obviously, but it was just like she stepped up the plate in this film. I'll say that. We're not going to talk about spoilers, right? This is not a spoilers review, ladies and gentlemen. We're not talking about spoilers on this review. This is directed and written by Ryan Coogler, and Ryan Coogler started out this franchise. He's done really great cinema. He really has. Fruitvale Station, one of my favorite, with Michael B. Jordan. Not a coincidence, Michael B. Jordan was in Black Panther as well, the first film. And knowing where we got that whole awakening of such a culture dynamic of African, of a Black African American superhero was just truly iconic. It really is. And I know I was talking with my coworkers. They're like, Wakanda will always, Black Panther will always be, even to this day, T'Challa, Chadwick Boseman will live on as that Black Panther for years to come and everything. And this whole journey of this whole film. I mean, first and foremost, Lex, what was your initial reaction to this movie, man? I mean, what did you think of this film? Did it meet your expectations? Did it not? Was all the good stuff in the trailer? I mean, let's get into the right and dirty. What did you think of this movie, man?
Yeah, man. This movie was very powerful in many aspects. Like you said, there's an immediate elephant in the room, which is how do they address and how do they deal with the passing of Chadwick Boseman in a way where they mix it in with this universe, right? Because it was an early decision that they were not going to recast T'Challa.
And we'll talk about that in spoilers, but
and but once again, this is like from before the movie was made. They said we're not doing that. We are going to do a continuation of the story in this world with handling the passing of Chadwick Boseman. So we knew from the get-go that had some implications in the movie, and I think it was just all in all the themes of the movie, the way that it deals with grief and how you process that, and how different people process that differently. I think that's all powerful. Like, the theme is powerful. The way that they handle it was powerful as well, and the performances were great. From top to bottom, in my opinion.
Yeah, not to get into details myself, not to get into spoilers, but I'm gonna have to disagree. I mean, okay. And I wanted to get very emotional on this certain aspect. And we see this in the trailer when they're wearing white. We see that whole funeral montage. It was not what I expected. It really wasn't, and I felt like they should have. I wanted to feel emotional on the emotional level of, like, just teary eyed and everything. And not to say that I didn't. It wasn't on that scene. I would say it was other scenes, right? When we get teary eyed, we're not gonna mention it. But this film really gets an emotional level. It just wasn't where I expected it to be. in that case. And you know, it just, and that's the thing too, is that the whole Wakanda, you know, it just, I love the whole culture, man. The whole culture, the whole, you could tell Chadwick Boseman was really missed in this movie. I felt like he was obviously missing. Because I mean, dude, he had that charming. He really did. He had that charming acting skills. You know, let's talk about Winston Duke here. I mean, dude, Winston Duke is just, every time he's on camera, he just takes over that role. He takes whatever line he was given, he really capitalized on it, and he just made me laugh the hell. Like, I was laughing more with him, and I was waiting for him to go ooh ooh, ooh. Like, I was just, that's just awesome. I mean, I, that whole charisma that he had though, with the whole Wakanda, with his tribe, it just felt so natural to me, because it just felt like this is not an acting job. This is like just me hanging out with my buddies, my friends, and showing what we can do here, you know, and see, and that's the thing too with the whole Okoye, you know, the whole, I love seeing Okoye. She was amazing in this role. I thought
Yeah.
she was phenomenal. She,
Yeah,
you know,
the Niagara was
yeah,
just delivered a
dude,
really good performance, especially
bruh,
with that. You know, when we think of like scenes like we got when in Infinity War when the snap happened, right?
yeah,
You could even see that Okoye suffered a lot from the loss of
hmm,
her king there, and that was the actress performing, right? Like the king was dead, but in this case, the actors truly lost a friend, a coworker, someone that they shared a lot of time with in the production of these movies. So I think they all stepped up and took it to a next level in terms of the weight of the performances. And like you said,
yeah,
I think the movie did a really good job at incorporating that. And at times you're just like, you know, I see the character,
hmm,
but I can kind of see the hints of the pain and
yeah,
suffering that the actors behind those characters might have felt during these moments, because it's truly
yeah,
them also saying goodbye to Chadwick Boseman, right? And so I think
yeah,
that all came across beautifully.
mm,
I once again I I get what you're saying in terms of like expecting certain emotions behind certain scenes, but I personally just like to just let the movie run its course
yeah.
and try to like I try not to premeditate where I may feel something. You're right, like the trailer may have given that because the trailer made us feel that
Dude,
in that moment.
the
But
trailer, okay, yeah, that trailer made that trailer was what, 2 minutes long. That trailer made me very way more emotional than I would say through the, because again, it's like a certain scene in the film that made me that way. But it's like, for me, but again, it just goes back to where, you know, the
yeah,
trailer made me feel this way. So it's like, oh man, I'm gonna have to, you
yeah,
kind of
it just
expect it.
depends on the
Any, yeah.
expectations, right?
And the whole point of a trailer is that, like, to get you to talk about the movie, to get you like, oh man, I can't wait to see this movie. And it did, obviously it did.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Angela Bassett. Oh my god, this amazing, beautiful woman has really taken a storm for this role, and she did she was phenomenal. You know, she was as Queen Mother. You know, she was amazing. That whole scene where she's it's like the where all the countries are at, all the and
Yeah,
the
the
nations, yeah, and like that whole sequence. I like it when her entourage comes, and like they bring down the mics, because they're like, she's leading, she's
yeah,
our queen, you know,
she's the one
she's our
that's talking.
queen mother, like she's our queen. Like,
Yeah.
oh man, I thought that was beautifully done. Angela Bassett really has like, she carries the movie. I mean, she's in so much iconic roles that it's like, dude, like she really carries the film. Not just for Marvel, obviously, but for cinema. Like, she really has a presence on camera, and I love seeing her every second of every day of everything that she's in. I'm all like, count me in, brother. Count me in, because I can't wait to see more of her
Yeah,
performance in this.
she does a great job in this. She once again, it all comes back to the actors having like wanting to pay honors by stepping up into these hard positions and their characters being
Yeah,
demanded to shine a little bit more, especially like you said, missing a character like T'Challa,
yeah.
it's just it leaves a hole, right? And perhaps it's not shoes
You, yeah.
that I think they approached it perfectly in terms of not trying to fill in the same shoes exactly,
Hmm.
but create different paths for these characters to shine. And Angela Bassett is a perfect example of that, and she delivered through all of her performances and speeches during the movie.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. That's the thing too, is that like I was like, holy shit, like dude, she is killing it. She is killing it every side, every aspect. I was just like, oh man, she is queen,
Yeah,
queen,
there was a couple moments where I
queen.
legit like wanted to like in my body, I was just like I wanted to clap after like a thing that she
Yeah,
said, and
yeah. I know.
it was
I,
just
I I made a noise. I was just like, I was all like,
yeah.
dude, just give me chills, man. I just and again, she has that performance, that presence on camera where it gets you feel those chills. It makes me feel like, damn, she's killing it.
He was great. Like I know we've talked about because I think when we reviewed the trailer, you told me he's in Narcos.
Yeah,
I have not seen it yet, but I know that he also delivers in that role. But it was just great to see him deliver what I think is one of the better like villains in the Marvel
yeah. Let's talk
universe.
about that. That is Namor here. Namor. You know, the whole essence of introducing a whole civilization that was underwater. That's not Atlantis, right? It's not Atlantis.
Yeah.
Existing in this whole MCU and introducing him to the MCU and introducing so much. I mean, so many hidden gems. I almost made almost said a spoiler. Introducing other stuff too, and that's the thing. You know, obviously from the she's casted in. You know, we see essentially we see it in the trailer too. It's kind of hard. I mean, it's all over the posters and everything. We did get introduced to more setups of Marvel characters here, but you know, as far as MCU villains, we always talk about MCU villains. They're always have that struggle of just like figuring out like are they as strong as when I mean strong, I mean like strong performance, strong script, as powerful as their you know their nemesis, their heroes. And in this one, I would say hell yes, man. I mean, you
Yeah.
know, uh, I'm gonna pronounce the name totally wrong.
Tenoch.
Tenoch. Okay, Tenoch.
Tenoch Huerta.
Huerta. Okay, Tenoch Huerta. See, I tried, I failed. But Tenoch Huerta, you know, he was amazing. He was fantastic. Oh my God,
Yeah.
he is just, you know, I got so resemblance of Narcos Mexico because he does those serious roles so well. It's inevitable that I actually believed his passion for his people, for
Yeah.
you know, for that whole heritage of the Aztec feel, and I love that too because it's just you can tell this was his passion project. This really was, and to know where he's come from the long way, to know to know that he looks good. I mean, by all means, he looks great as that role. I believe he's in his 40s, and I'm just like, dude, this guy looks like in his like middle 30s. Like he looks
Damn, that's
really good.
crazy. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
know.
he looks really good for his age.
Yeah, and like there was some changes to his character right from the comic
Yeah.
books. Even the pronunciation of his name, like it's you know it's typically Namor, which I think if I'm not mistaken, the Wakandas said it like that, but
Mhm.
in his native tongue, right?
Mhm.
Or no, he actually no, I don't want to spoil it, but it's
Yeah, yeah.
Namor. It's
No
Namor.
more, no more. Yeah.
Namor, which I think is great just because once again they did some tie-ins to his new like origin, and like you said, they
Yeah.
kind of went around the having to explain Atlantis and have it conflict with the better well-known like
Mhm.
hero of Atlantis. And I'm not saying better in terms of like, oh well, like Aquaman beats him, but it's just in
Yeah.
general, right? Like Aquaman is more widely known as King of Atlantis. So
Yeah.
I think that was a smart call at the end of the day, just for mainstream audiences to
Mhm.
kind of like, you know, kind of have a blank slate, but
Yeah.
just the fact that like that's rooted
Dude.
into who this actor is and where he comes from, like
Yeah.
it was just a great call all around. And
Mhm.
even just like
Good
how
casting.
what he wears and armor and all that stuff, like it's just
Yeah.
amazing. I was super proud of seeing those changes because
Yeah.
like once again it gets rooted into my like you know my Mexican background.
Yeah.
It's all wrapped around into the idea of introducing these characters and doing it in the right way.
Yeah. Hell yes. You know, this is actually the first ever Marvel movie where I actually loved the villain more than I liked the hero. And if that makes any sense, I mean, it's crazy for me to
Yeah.
say that because usually for the most part, especially with DC, it's always like even, right? It's always like, you know, Batman, the Riddler. It's always like even. I'm all like,
Well,
well,
yeah. So
yeah.
in some
So
stories,
yeah, yeah,
DC
yeah.
has not done a good job with villains, in my opinion.
Whoa. That's another story right there. We'll start that.
General
But,
Assad is the
oh,
best one
here we
in
go.
live action.
Here we go.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, you have Batman and Riddler, but that's not the
No, I know what you're
Yeah.
saying. Yeah, that's not the main. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah, but so going to, but like, yeah, this is like the first ever, and I always have a problem. You know how vocal, if you are new to the channel, if you're not, if you are a continued member here, it's like how vocal I am on the MCU villains. The last one, even with Christian Bale, the Batman of them all. Even the last film, Love and Thunder, I didn't like the villain. It was just like it just it didn't capitalize as dark as I wanted it to be, as dramatic as I wanted it to be. And again, though, it just comes to the conclusion to where is it going to land on, and knowing where knowing that Letitia Wright had to really carry this film. She carried this film on so many emotional levels. She did a phenomenal job. She carried this film. She really capitalized on so many different aspects of the Black Panther. Knowing where she's gonna be, we knew she was gonna be. If not her, I honestly thought Okoye was gonna take the mantle. If not her, because again, we knew it was gonna be not. It wasn't gonna be M'Baku because of the way the form was. Because remember, at the first trailer, we only got like a smidge of them as the Black Panther suits, and then later on, obviously, like at the later posters, like a week or two before the premiere, we're like, oh, we know who it is now. And
one thing that I was afraid of, Letitia Wright did excellent. I 100% agree. She stepped up to the plate. She was asked to do something compared to everyone else, like that's more unimaginable, right?
Yeah,
because like she started as a supporting character.
In the script, everything.
And though they might have like planted some seeds for like her to develop into the future, the passing of Chadwick Boseman really, once again, they put this in front of her and is like, can you carry it? And she delivered. I was afraid that them shying away in the promotional marketing, them shying away from showing that she is the Black Panther. I know they kind of wanted to keep the surprise and not like show off the suit, but they were kind of almost like shying away from telling the world like, hey, this is your new Black Panther. I was just very happy that the movie didn't reflect on that. Like it built up to that, but the movie didn't shy away from the reason why there should still be a Black Panther.
Obviously, this movie, and again, though, this is to my own personal opinion here. I think this movie's too long. In my personal opinion, this movie's come out to be 2 hours and 41 minutes. I kind of felt like we could have shaved off 15 minutes of this. But again, it's hard for me not to say it, but this is a setup. It really is. Just like all the Marvel movies, I would say this one's way more of a setup than Love and Thunder as far as setup for future films, right? Because this is the phase. I believe that what phase is this?
This is the ending. This is the last movie on Phase 4.
And see, and I've had a problem with Phase 4 movies. For they just been problems with me. I haven't liked them, and so obviously, and go ahead.
Well, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say that I kind of see what you're saying about like the setup, but this movie is very isolated from the MCU in my opinion. There was stuff in it, right, that still shows you that it's an interconnected, but I think they treated it as a sequel in like a vacuum
of its own.
Instead of like trying to really set up all these larger picture threads. I think they did some of that, but it was still contained. So I just wanted to clarify that, because I think that is the decision that the producers and director made out of respect of the themes that are explored in this movie. They're all very personal. The passing of Chadwick Boseman is very personal to the storytellers here, and so I think they decided to do that in a way where this sequel lives on its own almost. Obviously, still needing to watch the previous movie, Black Panther, but I don't know, man. Like, this is one of the shining ones for me of Phase 4.
I would say this is the best out of Phase 4. I'm gonna say it right now. This is for me.
But you didn't like it?
No. I mean,
That's confusing.
So like, this is the best out of Phase 4 of Marvel movies. And I enjoyed it though. That's the thing. That's the thing though. I enjoyed it a lot. I really did. I enjoyed the whole culture. I loved those moments. I did. But I'm not. It's so hard for me because it's just, I have to probably meditate on some of the stuff, and it really struck me on like, damn, like this is, you could tell T'Challa's missing and all that stuff. It was that dynamic here, which is the charmingness of him. But again, I'm gonna say that I loved Namor way more than I thought I would ever as far as the villain goes. Rating 1 out of 10. Lex, what do you give this rating?
I think this is I think this is a 9.2 for me. It's very solid.
Wow,
It's
dude. All
very
right,
solid
all
all
right.
around. You're right. It felt long.
Yeah.
I think part of
And
it
some of the CGI was kind of like, yeah.
very little. I there's some things where I saw it. I don't know. All of it was.
The
I don't know.
ending, the ending where the climax, where like the climax of
Yeah,
the film, yeah, it was a
movies
little.
always struggle with that for sure. I think for me, the pacing of the last act,
Mhm.
I think it kept switching between different scenario like scenes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think they overdid that too much. I don't think it's so much of the I didn't mind the CGI and
Mhm.
whatnot. It was definitely not as much as Love and Thunder. I know we keep hating on Love and Thunder. I
Yeah,
never
yeah,
really.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Once
No,
again,
yeah,
that was a
yeah.
yeah. But
Oh, compared to Love and Thunder, this is like an Oscar movie
no,
compared to Love and
no,
Thunder.
and
Yeah.
I mean, I think Angela Bassett may get a nomination. But
I wouldn't say
the
that, but I don't
we'll
know.
see,
Yeah.
we'll see. I'm
Nah, I
calling
don't.
it right now. I'm not saying a
We'll
win. I'm saying
yeah.
I think it's worthy of a nomination. But yeah, they did a lot of switching back and forth. Where I was
Mhm.
like, let me breathe this scene, this fight sequence, whatever.
That
Let it
yeah,
breathe a little
that
more.
was my major concern that I
Yeah,
struggled a lot. That's why I'm mixed. That's why I'm like I loved it, but then like why did you go here and then set up this and then again
yeah.
that's just me. It
But
to me there's a little bit too much setups and like it still has to connect with the with again we can't
yeah,
spoil it, but
no,
yeah, yeah.
I get what you're saying. So it's not a perfect movie, and it's rare when you see something that's perfect, right? That's all subjective. But me personally, a 9.2, I think holds it in a
Oh,
high
that's a good.
standard.
That's a good. Yeah.
It's a solid movie. You guys have seen my review. My ratings have gone down a little bit in terms of being a little bit like I don't want to say pickier, but I'm a little stricter recently.
Because your
But I
IQ,
think
your movie
this,
IQ is going up. That's why man, your movie IQ is
but
going up,
I
brother.
think
Yeah.
this one deserves of that for
Awesome.
me. Solid movie all around.
9.2. 9.2. All right, I'm going to give this a
Yeah.
solid 8.5, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
8.5. It's still a good, again, this is above average. I'm going to settle with this a little bit more. I'm going to see it again. I see it again on
I'm gonna see it
Saturday.
again too.
Yeah, I bought tickets to go see it on Saturday. And, I'm excited. I just need that little breathing room. Maybe I'm holding on to the whole charmingness dynamic of Chadwick Boseman. Maybe again, it goes back to where I enjoyed Namor way more than I thought. Namor was just effing fantastic. I loved his serious tones. And then he makes a little joke here, and I'm just like, I just like cringe. I'm just like, dude, no, like go back. And again, it's just one of the small little tidbit jokes. Does it have the same jokes? Yes, it has a lot of the humor, not crazy, goofy humor as much as Love and Thunder did, guys. Not as bad as that. God, no. If it did, then you know I'll be saying my beef with that. But it definitely has to have that little lightheartedness in here, and with the whole cast and Angela Bassett, with the circumstances they were put under, this overall came out as to be a very good film. Every movie goer is gonna go see this film. We know it. All the Marvel fans are gonna check out this movie, and yeah, I give it an 8.5. Lex, you give it a 9.2. We do recommend this movie, obviously, because we are above average. We do recommend this movie, guys, to any moviegoers out there to go check out this film because this film will do wonders for you, and I feel like it's going to do wonders for the whole culture aspect of it as well, the whole Mexican culture, and just to show, and kind of relates, kind of a little relatable too, especially when they talk about like the nations and all that, kind of a little bit relatable to what we're going through today. But yeah, definitely recommend this movie, guys. Lex, any final comments, man? Any final comments or anything like that?
No, I mean the last thing is just this movie did what was already very difficult to me. It's
Yeah.
already difficult to make a good movie that connects with an audience, but for them to do that on top of allowing us to process, mourn, honor, and respect the passing of Chadwick Boseman,
Yeah.
I think they did that.
That beautiful opening.
I would have not done it different. I think it was a
Yeah.
lot of respect, and I can. I can't even imagine how hard that that was to do. So for me to feel this way about this movie,
Yeah.
it's just they did what others probably wouldn't have been able to do.
Yeah, definitely was a struggle. Ryan Coogler capitalized, and he did a great job for what for what he was given. He really did. and I'll give it that. But yeah, all right, guys. Question is for you. What did you think of this non-spoiler review? What did you think? Put it in comments down below. Do you love Wakanda Forever, Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever, guys, or did you just like, guys, you guys are crazy, this movie sucked? Put on comments down below. Or are you with us along with everybody else, guys, that you really enjoy this film? Because I'm going out and saying this. It's gonna be very select few. They're gonna say, again, that's just my take. This is, I feel like for me as myself, people are gonna be above average to watch. When I mean give ratings of this, like this is a really good, solid film. It's rare, small percentage are gonna say like they don't like it. That's just my take here. And then and to each his own though. It's like I don't think to those people that say that, it's probably not their clientele anyways to begin with. Because again, this film really carries out the emotions, but not as emotional as I thought it would have done. Again, I wanted to cry more, Lex. I wanted to cry more. But yeah, all right, guys, put your comments down below. As always, I'm your host, Ryan D. aka Ryan 680.
And this was Lex. Thank you everyone for watching the review, and tune into the next one.